What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Like I said in my last video, I was having problems with my STI, and this week is going to consist of me fixing it with my dad. So pretty much basics. Right now I'm going to take off the intercooler to reach that transmission because I do have to take off the starter, take off the linkage from the clutch, take off the CV axles, and pretty much that's about it. That's like the most easiest part, to take off the tranny. And then after that you gotta take off the bolts that are around the housing of the tranny and then disconnect it from the drive line. So right now I will just do a little time frame of me taking off the wheels, CV axles. We also do have to drain the transmission fluid before we start any of that stuff. So first of all, I'm gonna take off the wheels right now, so I'll be right back. Alright, now we're going to take off the CV axles. This is a 32mm socket. Fits right onto that bolt. So pretty much we're going to take it off with the impact. Boom. And then when we put it back, there's an indent on here. Right here, we're gonna have to hit that back on to the groove of the actual CV axle when we put it back on, but we'll do that later. Show you guys. This is the area to drain the transmission. As you guys can see, there's a lot of leaking going on. There's a leak right here, but it's coming down from the input shaft seal, so it's running down. But pretty much what I'm gonna do first is take off this bolt right here. That way I can just monitor the speed, that way to fill up this bucket I have here, and then from there, once this stops draining, I'll take off the actual transmission bolt. So these two bolts right here. This is a, where is it? This is a 14mm right here, and then this one's like a little bit bigger, but I'll tell you guys right now. Alright guys, so this bolt right here for the transmission is a 21mm. That one is leaking. I'm gonna take out this one. I just noticed that my bucket is a 7 quart, so it is literally impossible to overfill it because this should be like 4.8 quarts or 5.3, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, one of those two. I think the 4.8 might be for the 5-speed and the 5.3 is for the 6-speed, but it's somewhere in that area. But yeah, so now I'm gonna take off this bolt, 21mm, and then just let it drain out. Take off the CV axles, and then we might have to take off the exhaust right here, the downpipe. As you guys can see, it was literally like just splashing all over that. Probably when I was on the freeway and stuff, catching some speed and then just going back. It's wet right there and wet right there. But yeah. Alright guys, and from the coilovers that I have, I gotta remove these two bolts right here. Pretty much just holding this in place, and after that, this is gonna fall forward towards us, and then the CV axle will just literally pop out. So yeah, let's take off these two bolts. It's a 19 and a 19 as well over here. So just put a ratchet on this side and then put the impact on this side real quick. Alright guys, little update. My dad just got here recently from work and he gave me a hand with the CV axles, but they are out now. They're right here. Next thing I am doing is actually taking off the downpipe. I took off the heat shield and there's like 5 bolts right here that I'm gonna take off. So next thing is, yep, take off these 5 bolts and then unscrew the 2 on the bottom of the car, and that is about it. So let's do that real quick. Alright guys, so we took out the downpipe and we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna go eat, shower, and then get ready for tomorrow. I have school still, so catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. Alright guys, as you guys can see, I took off the drive line from the transmission to the back differential. That thing was actually pretty hard to take off just because you have to hold the drive line from spinning when you were trying to take off the bolts. But we did that, and now, oh, we actually took off the supports for the transmission too. We put a little jack stand right there. And now I am taking the bolts off of the bell housing, which are this one. There's two from the starter, and then there's some on this side as well. But one thing I was noticing when I was loosening up those bolts, like they loosened up with like no force at all. So that has me wondering quite a bit. I'm not sure what happened at the shop when they put that transmission back to the motor, but it was freaking loose. But yeah, anyways, when we do put the transmission back to the motor, we are gonna make sure to tie in those to proper torque or whatever. And yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna take this off real quick, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so what we didn't know is that clutch fork right there, you need to remove that shaft that goes in between it. Pretty much you get a 10mm hex screw, which is one of these. It goes into this right here, this plug, and it covers that hole right there. After you take off this, you get a bolt. As this one right here, you screw it into that shaft, has a 6mm thread. This thing is full of fluid, as you can tell from the leak, but I'm gonna clean this up and then we'll take off the transmission right now. You ready? Alright guys, so the transmission is finally out thanks to my dad and myself, but as you guys can see, there's a lot of seeping here. It's actually coming from that area right there where that seal is I was talking about in my last video. But yeah, it was worse than I thought it was. My dad probably thought that we wouldn't have seen the leak coming from there just because of how much time it's been sitting there, but as you guys can see, it's really noticeable. It goes all the way back, so I'm gonna definitely use some degreaser and clean this out later on. But yeah, as you guys can see, it is pretty bad. But yeah guys, that's about it for removing the transmission. Later the parts come in tomorrow, and then we're gonna start putting everything together, and hopefully next week it should be in, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so I did clean up the transmission as much as I can, and it looks so much better now. But I did take off the cover that is covering the seal, which is this one that goes right here. There's 4 screws, just take them off, and then you remove this. As you guys can tell, look, there's transmission oil all over that. And this is the seal. I am not sure if that lip is supposed to be sticking out like that, because on the new seal I have, it's flush, so I'm not sure. But this is a part number, so if any of you guys are wondering what the part number is, that's what it is right there. But yeah, I'm gonna clean this up real quick and then slap it in. The way I removed it is got a little flathead, pretty thin. The thinner the better, and then get one that's pretty good in length, and then you pry it and then just pop it open, and then go on the other side and then just work your way around, and then it'll pop right out. But yeah, I'm gonna put this one in right now, so let's get it. Alright guys, so it is now day 4. We put in about 5 hours of work so far, and right now I just dropped it, as you guys can see, on all 4. Now it's just time to fill her up with some tranny fluid and put the intercooler back on, and that's about it. After I fill it up, I'm gonna monitor it for a couple minutes just to see if everything's okay, so stay tuned, cross your fingers. Alright guys, so I put about 3.8 quarts in it right now, and it's sitting perfectly at full. But I am going to check it again once I turn it back on for a couple minutes, and then I'm just, like I said, check it again, making sure it's staying at that level. But now it's time to put on the intercooler, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, intercooler is back on. I connected the battery back up, and now it's ready to start. So this is the part where it's kind of a little sketchy, but I believe that we did everything pretty well. We didn't really get into any serious issues as far as dropping the tranny. The hardest part was not having a transmission mount to drop it, or like a lift. That would have made it a lot more easier, but we just did some stuff and made it work. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna start it right now, so let's see how it goes. Alright guys, so my car wouldn't start at all. It wouldn't even crank over, but I could hear the fuel pump priming. And I didn't really want to try it too many times, but I literally just found my issue. Before you put everything back together, make sure you're not forgetting any cables, because I did. And this one goes to the starter, which obviously that's why it didn't start. But yeah, it was tucked down there, hidden. That's why I didn't see it. But like I said, just look over your wires patiently. I kind of wasn't not in a hurry, but I was anxious already to get this done, so lesson learned. But let's get that done real quick. Alright guys, she has risen. I just looked for leaks. There's no leaks so far. Hopefully it stays that way. But yeah guys, I mean, like I said, it was a simple mistake. I forgot to connect the starter. That's totally my fault. I kind of got scared in a way. I was like, is my clutch engaging? I don't know, this and that. But man, we're good, dude. This was definitely a learning experience, and I'm not saying I'm glad this happened, but I definitely learned a lot from this. Something that I will take literally to my grave. But now I literally know how to do this by myself. Thanks to my dad, shouts to him. He's always helping me out whenever I need help and giving me information when I mess things up. He is definitely a lifesaver. I love that dude. But yeah guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I'll keep you guys updated later on. But like I say, every video, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. Peace.